Hey everyone, welcome back to Supreme by Sarah Pearl. I am your host, Sarah Pearl, and I'm excited to talk to you guys today because the topic is about the relationship between faith and works. Okay. Before we get into it though, I wanted to make sure for all of my new listeners that you guys are tapped into the resources that I have available. So feel free to follow my Facebook page at Supreme by Sarah Pearl and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Supreme by Sarah Pearl. You can also follow me on my personal Instagram page. It's Sarah Pearl Thomas, and I post some content there as well, just about personal development and some insights on different topics. So feel free to tap in, guys, and let's get into it. Okay. So we always hear about faith and works, like the difference. Well, not the difference, but the relationship that it has. Faith without works is dead. Is what God said. Faith without works is dead, and that's absolutely accurate. Obviously, if you believe that you can do something, if you believe that you can start this business, if you believe that you can advance your career, but you're not putting in the action behind it to actually make it happen, then the chances are that you're not going to see it manifest in this reality. And so when I talk to you all about any topic, I am careful on how I talk to you because yes, I want to inspire you. Yes, I want to motivate you, and yes, I want to help you find the faith in yourself and the faith in God that you need in order to progress towards your goals. But if I'm just doing those things, if I'm just motivating you and inspiring you without you having any action steps, any works to put behind it, then I'm doing you a great disservice. Because yes, you'll feel good after listening to this talk, and you may feel good for a day or two later. But if you're not putting action steps behind those feelings, then the fire of motivation and inspiration will be snuffed out, unfortunately, because you're not fanning it with the flames of works. Works is how you actually make things happen. Okay. And just to give you an example, when I was in high school, I had a desire to run track on a collegiate level at a D1 school. And y'all, I'm from a small town. So it's not like I had scouts beating down my door trying to recruit me to come to their college. I did have one school that was interested in me, but they weren't necessarily where I wanted to go. I decided that I wanted to go to the University of Alabama. Roll Tide. Okay. Don't end the podcast because of that, y'all. If you're not a Roll Tide fan, that's completely fine. But I have plans to go to the University of Alabama. And that's where I had set my sights. But the issue was I didn't have anybody from the University of Alabama looking at me. Okay, like they didn't know I existed. So what I had to do, I emailed the track coach at the time, Coach Fowler. I emailed her and I was like, hey, what do I need to do in order to make the team at the University of Alabama? She sent me times that I would need to run in order to make the team. And she told me when the tryout period was. And so I remember that entire summer, I trained 2 days. Like I was in the gym, I was eating right. And even when my first month in college, like in August, I was in the gym in between classes. I wasn't partying or anything. I wasn't gaining the freshman 15, the dreaded freshman 15. I wasn't doing any of those things. If you wanted to hang out with me, I was in the gym. That's where you could find me. And I remember my friends clocking my times on the indoor track to make sure that I was progressing towards my goal. And so the tryouts was September 1st. And so I remember training up to like maybe 2 or 3 days before the actual tryout. And long story short, I made the team. Okay. And it was awesome. It was the time of my life. And I called my mom. I was really excited because I had achieved my goal. But here's the thing. Thankfully, I had a whole like support system that believed that I could make it happen, that I could do it. But had I not put in the work that I needed to do to make the team, then I would have just been, at the University of Alabama being a student, which is completely fine, but I wouldn't have achieved my goal basically. And so what I want you all to understand, the same is true for whatever your dream, your purpose, your goal is. Because a lot of the times we may have faith, like we have faith in God. We have faith that God has given us the abilities to do certain things. Like He has given us a certain territory to influence it, to, and to have our own impact on. But a lot of the times sometimes we get confused that if it's not happened naturally, then you don't feel like it's supposed to happen. But the thing is, a lot of the times, if it's a goal that is beyond where you currently are, it's going to require you to put in work anyway. When Coach Fowler told me the time that I needed to run, guys, I was nowhere close to that. I was nowhere close to that at all. And so I knew that I was going to have to work extra hard to get to where I wanted to go. And so I wanted to tell y'all that story for a couple of different reasons. One reason is, if I didn't put in the work during the off season, right, to prepare for the actual tryout, then I wouldn't have made the track team. And I feel like a lot of people are, and you may be in this position where you have faith in yourself, okay? You believe in the things that God has put on your heart to do. Like, you believe there's more out there for you. You believe that you can advance your career and all these things. Like, you believe that, but because it's not happening naturally, you feel like it's not meant to happen yet, or it's not, now it's not the time. That's not necessarily the case. You have to prepare yourself for what your goal, vision, dream is. You have to become the person that you need to become in order for that dream, purpose, whatever, to become reality. Okay, so that if you are in that position right now where you may have some faith, you may be inspired to do something, I want you to understand that if you're not who you need to be currently to make that happen, that's okay. That's where the work comes in, because faith without works is dead, right? God, Jesus, even when he was walking this earth, he always gave you an action step to do to demonstrate your faith. Because if you do not, if you say you believe in something and you're not working towards that, then I don't believe you. I have people tell me all the time, like, what their dreams are, what their goals are, what they want to do. But if I don't see you taking active steps towards it, then that means there's a disconnect between what you want and what you think you deserve. Because if you believe that that you want to be a business owner and that you can do this, then you're going to do the things you need to do to make it happen. How do I know? Because my high school self, I was motivated enough to go out and, train like a mad person so I can make the team. I believed I could do it. So I put the work behind it and I did it, right? So if you're telling me that you want to do something and you believe you can do it, but you're not taking active steps towards it, then there's a disconnect. And that's where the breakdown between faith and works is. If you're not putting work behind something, then more than likely you don't have faith that you can make it happen, right? Now, I'm not going to talk about it today, but you can look forward to it. The actual benefit or the actual power of taking action, and how it literally changes your momentum, right? It changes the trajectory of your goals, of your beliefs, of your entire being, just taking a simple action. Like, if you actually get out of bed and you do one thing that you know is on your to-do list, it gives you the motivation to go do another thing. Okay, but I'll talk about that in a different episode. But what I want you guys to understand, and what I want you to practice this week, okay, is putting action behind your faith. Okay, if you want the things that you want, you have to grow and develop into the person that you need to be in order to make it, in order to live out that dream. And the only way to do that is for you to put work into that thing. Okay, if you want to be an all-star athlete, then you have to get out there, you have to train, you have to do above and beyond what the average athlete is doing, right? If you want to be an author, okay, well, are you doing the necessary steps to become the best-selling author that you want to be, right? And so that's what I wanted to share with you guys, just because that's something that I've been actively, or rather intentionally, implementing in my life, because sometimes I can get discouraged, and we all can, by not being in the position that we want to be in, because we don't see ourselves, because we're not there personally yet. Because I wasn't a D1 athlete when I reached out to Coach Fowler about tryouts and things like that, I wasn't the D1 athlete when I emailed her. Okay. But I put in the work I needed to do in order to be that D1 athlete. So just because you're not who you need to be yet in order to achieve the goals that you have, you can definitely put in the work to become that person. That's what this is all about, personal development. This journey is beautiful because it's all based on what you're willing to do to make the things happen in your life that God has instilled into you. Okay, because your dreams are not just there just by happenstance. There's a reason why that's in you, and if you combine faith and works, then you will get there every time. Okay. But I love you guys, and I thank you for listening to my podcast today. Let me know if you have any questions. I love taking recommendations on what you guys want to hear about my perspective on. I love you, and we'll talk next week. Bye.